Hi, everybody. Welcome to my Wednesday morning live event. And I'm just having fun dancing in my office, getting some energy going, getting ready to go on a Wednesday. It's very sunny where I am, so I'm excited and pleased to be with you today, doing a quick, brief video on an SEO Myth-Buster today. So quickly before I start, I have a little bit of a funny story. I was looking at my email about a half an hour ago, and I went to my social tab and I saw an email that said, "The myth of endless blogging, why more posts won't boost your SEO is starting soon." And you know what? I got really excited, like not thinking it was my own live event. I got really excited and I was like, I want to go to that. So I'm here, I'm going to that, and I'm actually the one presenting it today. So I had a good laugh at myself this morning. So anyway, hope you're doing well this morning, and I want to again welcome you today to today's quick SEO Mythbuster. So yesterday I was talking to a client that I was coaching, and they were talking about how they had cranked out a bunch of blogs for the next 6 months, and they were so excited, and rightly so, because creating content is a lot of hard work. So that part was exciting. They also were talking about how, I'm so excited to get, more traffic and leads. But I don't want to wait the 6 months until I, roll out all of these blogs. And so I had to just, first congratulate them on creating all of that content, because again, that is not easy. Then I did a little time out and said, okay, wait a second. That is awesome that you've created all those blogs, but do you have a clear strategy in place? So let's talk about why just, creating endless blogs is not effective, and it might actually be wasting your valuable resources. So just think about how, how hard you're working, creating content. Oh, I'm going to create this content. Maybe you get an inspiration. Maybe you don't get an inspiration. Maybe you, just try to, create a whole variety of topics, anything you can think of, and that kind of thing, and you're creating content. Well, without a clear strategy behind this can really drain your resources and not yield the kind of SEO returns that you're really looking for. And think about how disappointing that is, like when you work really hard and then you go and you see, well, I'm not really ranking on that after 3 months, or, we're really not seeing any conversion, or, we're not seeing, the phone's not ringing. That's a classic one. They're not filling out the contact form, or they're not, calling on the phone. Those are, kind of blast from the past with the phone, but that's traditionally what folks have expected. They expect to go from, I put out a blog, to when's my phone going to ring, or when are they going to fill out that, contact form. So it's just to find out that nobody ever went to the contact form, and hardly anyone ever really visited that blog. And no, they didn't get much engagement from it if they shared it to social media, etc. So endless blogging is a thing of the past. It's from about 10 years ago, basically 10 to 6 or 7 years ago, when that is what we thought. And by we, I mean the whole internet, the whole world, even Google. They figured, the more, they told us, hey, the more content you put out there, every time you refresh your website, that's what's gonna, get our attention. Well, we've evolved so much since about 8 years ago, and not only has content marketing evolved, but we are also in a brand new era of search everywhere and AI search, and this has added yet even another layer. But without that layer, still, blogging frequently without a clear strategy is just not the way to go. So today's search engines prioritize content depth, but also relevance and interconnectedness. So we want to be about quality, depth, and interconnectedness. But number one, before all of that, we need to really understand our ideal prospective audience. So, you could be creating blog posts or, LinkedIn newsletters, if you will, content on the topics that you think your ideal prospect or that you think talks to your audience about your brand and what value you have to offer. But do you really know that for sure? So the idea is to step back and take the time to really understand your audience, understand their challenges, what brings them relief, what phrases do they use? These days, search is very conversational. And so, folks are putting in full sentences, whether it's in Perplexity AI, Search GPT, or Google, doesn't matter where it is. Folks are searching everywhere now, and they're putting in, their language of how they speak. So do you even understand the language that your audience is speaking in? Do you know what phrases they use? Have you validated your assumptions on what they know and what they don't yet know? We know as experts creating the content, we know what we're talking about because it's what we do. But does the audience understand, or are they there yet? They're just becoming problem aware when they're coming to a blog, when they do a search. A lot of times they're just trying to figure stuff out. They're like trying to figure out what's going on with them. So is your content speaking to that? So if you're just creating a bunch of content without taking a step back and really understanding who you're talking to and where they are when they come to your site or from a social media, post to your site or wherever they're coming from, when they come to your content, are they going to connect? So you'll see that my title today is Content Gardener, and that's because I like to think of a content ecosystem for a brand as a garden. And let me just show you a quick example here. So this is a little fun little microgreen pop-up garden. And I just want to just kind of give you a visual understanding or a visual, illustration of this. So when we talk about content, right, and not just, kind of this, endless blogging going out, kind of on the surface, but we want to go deep into the soil, right? And so think of this micro garden here. Oh, there we go. Think of this micro garden as your brand, right? And think of the pollinators as your target audience. Does your flower or do your plants have what they need? And think of your plants as your content. Does your content really speak to them in a way that's really going to signal to them and attract to them? And is all of your companion content, is it relevant? Is it interconnected in a way that helps the butterfly really get in there and get what they need, right? Or is the butterfly coming and going, this isn't what I was looking for. And then they're frustrated and then they fly away. So we talk in terms of topic clusters. Another way we talk about that is a perennial garden. So let's step away from the microgreens for a second and talk more about that perennial garden. So the kind of evergreen garden that continuously grows year after year. And on top of that, we talk about the native perennial garden. So that's really, really key when it comes to your strategy. You could take a plant that, let's use again the gardening example. You can take a plant that grows well in, say, Texas, and try to plant it here in the Midwest where I live. That plant isn't really going to thrive. It's not really going to have what it needs in its environment. It's not going to have the right soil. It's not going to have the right climate. So, but a plant that's native to the Midwest, that belongs in the Midwest, when I plant that perennial in a garden, that plant is going to thrive. And then when I further create companions to that plant to create a nice mix of plants that work well together, they look beautiful together, they grow well together, then we're talking about a brand that is grounded and goes into depth, a brand that has content that goes into depth. So that's what we're talking about with a well-defined content strategy. So rather than just like tossing seeds all over the place that you don't even know if they belong in your yard, you don't know if they're going to grow well. A well-defined content strategy is one where you design and plan out that garden first, and in the case of content, you're ensuring that every piece you publish is connected directly to your ideal audience. So that would be my number one tip today, is before you go off and create all those blogs, really make sure you're leveraging the resources and time and energy that you're putting into those, and make sure they tie directly to your ideal prospect, to what phrases and language they're using, tying that to keywords. And that's really going to help you get closer to those SEO results that you're looking for. So just remember, resources spent on endless blogging without strategy are resources that are wasted. So prioritizing targeted, interconnected content that helps you attract and convert the right audience efficiently is where you want to be. And, I promise when you do that, you're going to get to results a lot quicker. So I thank you so much for joining me today. And I am going to include in the link, I have a webinar next week, a week from today, and it is a repeat by popular demand, the SEO to sales, the organic way to turn search into revenue. So I'm going to go ahead and put that registration link in the chat, in the LinkedIn comments, and just look for it to pop up again on LinkedIn this week. And also look out, I have an exciting series that I'm creating for this spring, and just look out for that. Soon I will be promoting that as well, and I'm super excited about it. And it's a content challenge. So just look for that, and it'll give all of us something to look forward to work together on this spring to grow our content gardens. So again, thank you so much for joining.